Today we're going to start your Zentangle. You'll need your paper and a black gel pen. Today I'm using the Uniball pen because it's waterproof and permanent. You have a few different choices for doing the Zentangle unless you've been given alternate instructions. This one is a Zentangle. It's just Zentangle patterns. There's nothing else in it. This one is a Zentangle. It's been started. I chose to put my initial in the middle. If you want to do that, let us know. I do have a few letters that you could trace. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to create your own, and I'll show you how to do that. This one, like I said, is not finished. The person could put another pattern in the middle besides finishing the outside. And then the last one is creating a word in the middle. I chose create, and I'm going to show you how to get that set up and then also how to make the areas pop out. So first you'll have your plain index card like this one. If you're going to do a word, I'm going to demonstrate that first. I'll talk about the letter and then I'll actually show you how to set up just a regular Zentangle. I am going to show you one other one. I almost forgot. This one has a frame around one side and then just kind of a broken up side. So basically we didn't finish this last side when we're laying down the different loops to break up your pattern. And I can show you how to do that if you need to as well. So I have my white paper. The first part you're going to use pencil to lay out your word. So I chose the word create. What you would want to do is write this very lightly. I chose to do it darker just so you can see it for the video and for instructions. I made it a little bit darker, but make sure there's a lot of space in between because we're going to go out around it. You don't want your letters to cram together so close that somebody couldn't read them or understand them. So the first one is to get your letters laid out. Second step is to go out around the initial word. So if you look over here, the middle line is what I started with, and then the outside is what you wanted, is what we're going to be doing. Sort of like making bubble letters, only this is your own handwriting. This will help you control the spacing in between where there's loops. You also might have to make some adjustments. I think I had to make a few adjustments like over here just because the spacing was a little awkward, and like over in here. So we would go out around your initial letters. Then you would erase the inside letters. So that initial line that you put down, we're erasing that, but we're keeping the outside, so the bubble letter part. So you should be able to read your word okay at this point. Then it'll give you a clear view of what your image is going to look like when it's done. And then the last step is to actually break up the paper for the Zentangle, which will be the same as what I'm going to do in a little bit. Just when you run into one of these areas like this, you just skip over it. So I'm just going to continue as if it was there, but we're going to go underneath it basically. That will also apply when you go to put in the pattern. You're just going to skip that area, but you're going to continue the pattern as if it was there. So here's a close-up of one of the patterns in there too. And you'll notice it'll continue underneath. You're just skipping over where the letter is. Also, some of the patterns call for a blender. For example, this one right here. So this is very dark, that's white. The middle is a blender. I just took a blender that we have. It already has lead on it, but you could use a shading pencil if you need to make it darker to blend there. And then another way you could use the blender to help the letters pop out, especially if it's a really light area. Like over in here, it was super light. You could just take that blender around the edge just to lightly give it a little bit of depth. It kind of makes the letters pop up a little bit more and sets the Zentangle pattern to the back. So especially, like I said, where there's light, lots of light area, it was kind of hard to read this line. So I used a blender to go along here. Then you can use an eraser. I like the capped erasers because they come to a point and you can clean up this edge so it's a nice sharp edge. I don't have an eraser beside me, otherwise I'd show you how to do that too. But I mean, just run it along here and you should be good to go to clean it up. So that's how you would set up for a word. Same thing applies if you were to do a letter, only it's just a letter instead of a whole entire word. If you're just doing a regular Zentangle, this one, they started off with a diamond pattern. You could do something like that if you want to, but what we're gonna do is just a random loops to get you going. So this one has lots of areas where there might be a curve. It could actually do a big loop like that and run off the page. You could put a border in if you want to. I think I'm just gonna go without this time. So go ahead and take your pen. I'd say don't be afraid to go ahead and start with your pen. And you're just gonna start making loops. So I might take a line that goes from here to over here, but it's also gonna do a loop in the middle. Nice and slow but consistent. My hand is not on the page. Okay, and then maybe one from here to over here. Maybe you make 2 loops in the next one. I make them pretty big. It can cut through like that. And then I look for areas that are really big. Like this area is huge. So I want to do something to break that up. Maybe also over in here. So I might even do, that was kind of crazy, but something like that. And then maybe another one through there. You could even do like a half circle somewhere if you wanted to.